Hi everyone. So in this video, we are going to talk about how certain set of information which comes on the internet stays on the internet for a long time, regardless of if it's been removed from the internet. So our focus will be on Internet Archive and Wayback Machine specifically. So what is Internet Archive? It's a organization, a website which basically stores anything you can think of from software to games to music to websites. All of this is stored on the website and you can basically access it whenever you want to. So Wayback Machine is specifically for the websites. So let's say you want to access how a page looked, appeared, maybe in 2000s. You can search, put on your URL here, and you'll be able to see if it has been saved at that time by somebody. So why this becomes interesting is because this is not just solely used to see the appearance of a website from the past, but also to get facts or as an evidence to what an organization said yesterday or posted yesterday about something. So might be used for taking out the pricing of software from 10 years ago, for example, or getting the contact details of an employee who was working maybe 5 years back and was added to the website. Uh, so yes, if we search for google.com, we'll be able to uh, see how many times the website has been saved between these years. So we can go to some random year and see what was saved on that day or how the website looked on that specific date. Uh, so yes, this is the classic Google page, and the placement is as in 2004, as shown. Not just this, it also stores some documents. For example, I search for CIA here. So it shows me all the documents which are relevant to the search query. Important note is that these documents were made public by one or another website and were indexed either automatically or manually by the Wayback Machine. We'll come to how it's done manually. Like if you want to store a certain page, what you can do is go to this URL web.archive.org. You can put in your page URL here and click save page. So let's say I want to save a copy of google.com today. I'll click save page. You'll see uh, save page even if it gives error. I'll click save, and the same snapshot had been made 4 minutes ago. Can make a new capture of this URL after 1 hour. So it gives me that I'll have to wait for another hour to be able to save this page again. But that's how you can do it for non-popular pages, because google.com is such a popular website. It's saved very frequently. So the next interesting question here is why did google.com not block Wayback Machine, or why did it even allow us to take a snapshot maybe 4 minutes ago and not block us out to be able to save a copy of google.com? To answer that, the basis of search engine is that you have to index certain pages. That is, you send certain crawlers to websites and try to understand what content is present in those websites to be basically be able to identify those pages and present or show them in response to the search query. So there is a file called robots.txt which should be present on all the websites. Google.com's robots.txt states that states certain rules. So there are user agents which are basically the crawlers, and allow disallow specifies which pages should be allowed to be indexed, searched, or crawled, and disallowed pages are blocked. So, an interesting part about this is that it's not compulsory for the agents to obey these rules. However, these are certain conditions should be followed ideally by the user agent. So, ideally, all agents are supposed to follow these rules. However, there is certain requirements by certain websites or crawlers to specifically put their names and then put in allow or disallow specific to them, so that they can follow or obey the rules specific to them. Uh, Similarly, we have github.com here with specific rules, what should be indexed and what should not be crawled or indexed in whatever way. I'll show you an example. So here it states all user agents should can scan or index this fast.com. However, they should not go to app.js files. Basically, JavaScript files whose names starts with app should not be crawled in any sense. So if we go to fast.com and give me 1 second, and we check sources here, we see there is a JavaScript file which contains all the JS code. So the JS file's name is app dash something, right? So this file should never be crawled or indexed by any crawler in the ideal case. However, it's up to that user agent to decide if it wants to obey the rules or not obey the rules. Specific to Internet Archive, how do we stop it? So, for example, certain website, maybe let's say uh, slash admin or something like that is present. I don't want to let the crawler store a copy of this or in any way. So, how should I stop it? So the simplest solution is you put in user agent IA archiver, which specifically identifies Internet Archive's crawler, and put in a disallow with slash admin or something like that. So the entire thing will become, if I want to stop slash admin slash login, I'll put in this or something on those lines to stop Internet Archive from indexing, crawling such a page. There are different ways. So, for example, in Apache servers, you can directly enforce or block it at server level. You can do it via Cloudflare if you're using reverse proxy. You can basically stop if user agent is IA archiver. You can block the entire request. You can use the firewall. And finally, how do I remove content? So in certain cases, sensitive content can be crawled when you don't put in the right conditions in the robots.txt file. So what is the solution to that? Like, how do you get rid of that content already present on Internet Archive, which can be accessed by somebody? So the solution is you send an email to this email address and specify the details of what the content is and why is it sensitive and should be removed. Uh, Ideally, you'll have to give a proof of domain ownership. For example, if I state I want to get rid of certain content on google.com, I'll have to give the domain ownership certificate of google.com to be able to do that. And ideally, they respond fairly quickly and will remove the relevant content. So just like Internet Archive, archive.org, there are different websites which can store, perform similar operations. So archive.is is another one of them. There are a lot many, will not cover everything, but this was just an way to show you how sensitive data is present on the internet and stays on the internet regardless of if it was removed. The overall summary here is that internet remembers far more than what people can think of. So if you post anything on the internet, or let's say you have a website that you manage, be very careful on what you put out, because you never know what could be stored or archived in any form and come back to cause issues, problems for you tomorrow. Just be careful, and yeah, take very good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.